Tinubu and other APC people are on the run right now after the plot that they have against Peter Obi are finally leaked in the early afternoon. Everywhere buzz and scatter in the early afternoon as the plot of Tinubu and APC people, as the plot they have against Peter Obi was finally leaked in the early afternoon. They never expected that this thing will surely leak. You will hear everything in this video. You will see everything because I'm going to be playing you the video. If you see what these people have in mind against Peter Obi, you will shed tears for Nigeria and you will shed tears for Peter Obi. You will shed tears for southern area of Nigeria. You won't be able to hold back your tears. I would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video for you to see this video yourself because I'm going to be playing it for you in a video format. If you can share this video, ensure you share it. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it, like it, give it a thumb up so that it will get to the last person, so that everybody will know the agenda of these people against Peter Obi. Just stay connected. You see the video. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the red subscription button that is showing on your video screen right now, and at the same time click the notification bell icon, click it so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. A lot of things is happening in the political zone right now, and I usually tell you, I said there is not the time for Nigerians to be losing information. A lot of things is happening in Nigeria right now. This is a country where you cannot close your two eyes when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping in Nigeria right now, you need to open one of your eyes open as if you're a vigilante. This is not the time for anybody to lose information. Information is power and is very pivotal as far as Nigeria is concerned right now. Something tragic is happening right now which a lot of people do not pay attention to. They are trying to do something against Peter Obi, and mind you, if you are obedient, whatever thing that happened to Peter Obi, either good or bad, is surely going to affect all obedient. So I'm going to be showing you the plot that they have against Peter Obi right now. Whether we like it or not, in this country, the new Nigeria must surely come. So these people are already plotting against Peter Obi, and when people saw this plot in the early afternoon, when the video leaked in the early afternoon, a lot of people shed tears because they said Nigeria can never become the Nigeria that we wish again. A lot of people shed tears for Peter Obi, and a lot of people shed tears for themselves. So I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share this video, ensure you share it, let it go viral. And if you cannot share it, just like it as you're watching it, like it, give it a thumb up, give the video a thumb up as you're watching it, so that YouTube will recommend it for us once it gets to the last person. These people are cooking something strange against Peter Obi, and this thing, I said it earlier, is going to affect you that is watching this video if you are a lover of Nigeria, if you are an obedient, and it's going to affect me that is talking to you right now. Because in course of the election, a lot of things took place in course of the election, and that was why Peter Obi took them to court. Peter Obi took them to the tribunal. Something happened. There was a kind of manipulations and all of that according to report, and after the tribunal they went to the Supreme Court because Peter Obi wasn't okay with the judgment of the tribunal and all of that. And mind you, it was the same Peter Obi that said that he trusts the judiciary so well because the judicial system of Nigeria actually worked in his favor when he was still the former governor of Anambra State. You know, they expelled him then and all of that, but the judiciary reinstated him as the governor of Anambra then, and that was what made Peter Obi to believe so much in the judiciary, not knowing that they're going to fail him as far as the Nigeria presidential election is concerned. And don't forget, when the electoral result came out then, you know, it was obvious that there were voters intimidation, there were voter suppression, there were voters bullying. They did not allow a lot of Labour Party people to vote in different polling units. And yet, when INEC announced Tinubu as the president of Nigeria, Obi said nobody should protest. It was Peter Obi that said nobody should protest because a lot of obedience wanted to shut down INEC office. They wanted to shut down Nigeria because they said the country is no more existing again, that they should kuku roast the country, and at the end of everything, let everything end there. It was Obi that said no, nobody should go to streets because he remember what happened in course of the NSAS, how they did a lot of shenanigans and criminality against Nigerian youth. So Obi said nobody should protest. But now that same Obi is who they are against right now, and they said it's not a peacemaker and all of that. The judges in the Supreme Court and the tribunal said it. They said Obi is instigating violence and all of that. And mind you, this man is a peacemaker. But looking at what is happening right now, they are cooking something tragic against Obi, which I want everybody to see. So that is why I'm personing you to share this video. Let it get to everybody in Nigeria and in the diaspora. Let everybody see what these people are cooking. This is a dangerous disaster that is going to come soon. Just stay connected. You will see the video. I'm coming back again.
If I'm not mistaken, is this particular clip, and here it is.
Particular status, that's one. Secondly, Peter Obi is seen in some quarters as the face of opposition, so to speak. And one will expect that a party that gave him that platform to contest for the president of the country, that he will be able to offer leadership and turn that party to something that to become a brand for anyone who wants to aspire to govern the country or govern the state or be a lawmaker, as the case may be. For him, at his level,
for him at his level. Okay, so he says that Mr. Peter Obi is seen as the face of opposition. Well, that's quite true, and remember he said Mr. Peter Obi and not Labour Party. And currently what Mr. Peter Obi is doing is to focus on that opposition that he's doing. He's everywhere all over the country. He's visiting people, he's listening to people as much as he could in his individual capacity, solving people's problems. But most importantly, he's giving hope to the people. And I think, you know, a lot of people have been disillusioned by the Tinubu administration because nobody believed that anyone can actually be worse than Buhari. And unfortunately for Nigeria, Tinubu came in and in less than 6 months have shown how worse he can be than Buhari. So part of the things that they expect is for Mr. Peter Obi to be fixated, to be focused on the issue of Labour Party, and then they can be putting in their problem, one problem or the other, so that he'll be running up and down, helter-skelter, trying to, you know, put out fires, just like what they did with Alimodu Sheriff when Alimodu Sheriff, you know, went into PDP and became the chairman, and, you know, a whole lot of issues that went on within that period, and up till now PDP has not been able to recover from it. And you know, APC think that they can use the same kind of guidebook and continue to use it against opposition, but they have seen someone who has decided that he's not going to fall for that trick. He's going to focus on the issue at hand and not on the things that they want him to be doing. And that is why you now see the APC people, you know, actually crying more than they believe. What's your business with Labour Party? Allow Labour. If Labour Party is doing anyhow, it's in your interest now. If you really were sure that Mr. Peter Obi was not doing the right thing, people would have just been joyously waiting and say, okay, no wahala, as it comes. But now, 2027 never comes. The guy never talk anything, but you guys are all over the place, and you know, sort of like, you know, running helter-skelter here and there, and you want him to be invested in this, in whatever shenanigan that you want him to be invested in. But I think he has proven to be smarter than that. Let's take a listen at the next clip.
This level, at that status of trying to preserve over the country, to the point that he was even laying claim that he won the election. For him to say he will abandon the ship without helping to resolve it means that he was not prepared for leadership ab initio. It is different from him trying to defect to another party. If he's not able to resolve the crisis in his party, and he goes to another party that he thinks is stable and peaceful, then he'll be missing the point, because the whole essence of leadership is for your ability for you to resolve issues in political parties, try as much as possible to make it a veritable platform that
Okay, this is quite an interesting one. Listening to the clip was quite an interesting. So first of all, let me say to Mr. Kasim Afebwa that indeed Mr. Peter Obi did win the 2023 election. He knows it, I know it, Most of us, most Nigerians know it, except the ones, of course, that the rigging favor them and they felt that, oh, as long as they voted and somebody rigged and the person they voted for got into office, that's all that matters. But anyway, that's by the way, because the Mr. Peter Obi, whose election has been rigged, has said he has moved on, he has gone through the whole, process of the law and shown the whole country that indeed we do not even have a judiciary. There's a judicial capture that we all must put our hands together to rescue the judiciary from it. And so he did win the 2023 election. He talking about the fact that he was not prepared for leadership because he has said whatever it is that they are now making it out that he has said. And this is me even saying, even if Mr. Peter Obi decides to move to another part, which is something that he hasn't, even put on the table, but hey, if he decides that's what's going to happen, and so that's the question I'm going to ask, and so Mr. Afegba feels that he can do it, but somebody else can do it. Make it make sense to me. But anyway, Sha, we are in the process of hearing, and so this time also we're going to hear another clip.
To be a lawmaker and otherwise. So the point I'm making is that at that level of Peter Obi, who is seen in some quarters at the face of opposition, to be giving up hope that the Labour Party's intractable problems are not resolvable, that because of that he's going to jump ship to go to another party, takes away a lot from his so-called leadership credentials. And I'm saying that is not the way to go. Because if you want to rebuild Nigeria, if you want to reform the country, you must start from even reforming the vehicles which people usually use to pursue their aspiration. You need to reform the political parties. You need to ensure that the right persons are there, things are done properly, there's right accountability, there's leadership cohesion and all of that. So that people will not be looking at, oh, if Peter Obi were to be president, this is what he will have done. Look at the way he has done Labour Party. But now, they'll find it easier to criticize government, to run all manners of commentaries, but the small party they are running, the Labour Party, is a mess in all manner of crisis, internal frictions and contradictions. And if they are unable to resolve it, then Peter Obi should not even dream of aspiring to be president of this country, because it is all about himself, I, me, and I kind of political scenario. And that's what I'm talking about. If I'm going to run for president of the country,
if he's going to run for the president of the country anyway, the first thing is that I think for me, I'll just give a free advice is that Mr. Kasim Afegba has to see that from his mind, it starts from the mindset that he's capable, he has what it takes to run, and so he should not belittle himself and think that he has not reached the state or the status or any one of them. But the thing also I want to say is that, is it his hope? He said that, oh, Mr. Peter Obi has given up on hope on this. Excuse me? I know there was something he said where he said that if he wants to rebuild Nigeria, so what is APC that he is saying is the government that I know is the legitimate government? What is APC doing? Killing Nigeria? Because of course they are really succeeding in killing Nigeria. So this is Mr. Afegba right now shifting away responsibility, putting leadership, because we all know who we voted for, we all know who the real president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is, and that's Mr. Peter Obi, shifting that responsibility to Mr. Peter Obi to build the nation, to build the parties. We didn't even say Labour Party. He went on to talk about building the parties and all of that. Meanwhile, the Tinubu that rigged his way into office should be, going to events late and also, going there to sleep, and that's what we should be expecting for him, not any other thing, and also to overturn the waste of our collective wealth. And it's all about just craziness of not taking responsibility of the things that just going on. Okay, you want Mr. Peter Obi to start reforming the vehicles, and he has refused to reform the vehicles. He's not focused on the vehicle. So if you like, keep attacking the vehicle. If you like, keep doing all sorts of things in the vehicle. So he's not going to waste time. There's something they call smartness, Smartness. The fact that they are used to PDP's kind of opposition, that's what you are looking for from it. Nah, you're not going to get it. PTB and Article's kind of opposition, you disappear after this thing come, then you'll be doing all manner of things you want to do. Mr. Peter Obi has said, no, the guy they give their headache, no be smart, jump everywhere you are saying, anyway, let me come back to this. So if Mr. Kasim Afegba believes that there's a need for reform of political parties and all of that, since he happens to be a part of the illegitimate government that we have right now, yeah, why don't they do executive bill? What are the things? What are the reforms? What are the things? Go ahead, go and do it. Leave Mr. Peter Obi out of all of these things and just let him be. That's just, that's just for me, that's really just the thing. But anyway, I'm still gonna come. I'm still trying to get to there are quite a number of more clips that are coming on now, and this is it. We're going to listen to this clip now. Hold on.
Kind of political scenario, and that's what I'm talking about. If I'm going to run for president of the country, I will look for a party that can give me that platform. And if I lose the election, I will ensure that I build such a party to become something that people will adore, and people will also find worthy to present their own aspiration. But the way Peter Obi is going about it is a complete miss of what political parties as vehicle for leadership recruitment is.
Well, let's just lay off Peter Obi for a few moments and focus our attention on the PDP. Atiku Abubakar. He called on opposition political parties in Nigeria to form a coalition ahead of the 2027 general elections to take a page out of the recently concluded Senegalese elections. What do you make of this?
Well, there is no harm in bringing forward suggestions, except that if Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi would concede that there will be no vacancy in 2027 by the special grace of God, that the current occupant of the office will serve first term and he will present himself for the second term, then I will understand that the point they are making might make some sense in terms of helping to enrich the political process by having multiple candidates. But this is the turn of the southern part of the country. There's no vacancy. If you're a northerner, you want to aspire to govern this country in 2027, I will plead that they bury such thoughts. It's our turn in the south to balance the political algorithms of the country and ensure that we serve out our 8 years as they have done before power will rotate down to the north again to be 2031. And so Atiku may be making points in terms of trying to rev off his own followers, but the Senegalese election that he used as a basis, they are completely opposite, because the candidate of that election was for his.
Interesting. Someone who earlier was accusing Mr. Peter Obi of being selfish, his selfish interest to want to be governor, is here talking about how it's the turn of the South, so Tinubu would have to do his second term and stuff like that. Not the fact that whether Tinubu is doing the right thing or not doing the right thing, or giving good governance or not giving good governance, or people are suffering or people are not suffering. That's not his concern. If that's not the definition of selfish interest, I don't know what selfish interest is. And then when they're talking about this southern south, so does that mean Peter Obi that is from the southeastern part of the country is not south, or is it that Peter Obi's south is not south enough, or because he's Igbo he's not southern enough for Afegba? And so when he's talking about a party going to the south, and then of course he automatically assumes that if there's anything like an alliance between Atiku and Obi, that Obi is not going to be the one that is a presidential candidate. It's crazy. Anyway, for me personally, that alliance it's a no. That's my own personal take. So I'm not the one who is there with the things going on. So any of those things, just people should get it. But that's just the mindset. That's the kind of mindset that they have. And so, like I said earlier, some of the things, if you've watched this or you watched the part one earlier, you hear where I talked about the fact. I think Afegba thinks that the way he speaks almost as if Peter Obi is not supposed to be running. He should still be doing the ballet to some people. But then, how dare he decide that he's going to run? And so for me, so when the question remains, is Peter Obi not southern enough? I think at this moment I'm also going to move to the next clip for us to hear from the next clip. So
it will be 2031, and so Atiku may be making points in terms of trying to rev off his own followers, but the Senegalese election that he used as a basis, they are completely opposite, because the candidate of that election was his 44-year-old Senegalese, Bassirou Faye, is more or less like a son to Atiku Abubakar. So if Atiku Abubakar is thinking of contesting 2027, he needs to make a rethink. He needs to think about the new dynamics, the contemporary issues, in the country, and try as much as possible to promote younger ones to come and aspire to govern to preside over the country at whatever level, whether governors, House of Rep, or president. But in the case of Nigeria as it is now, I think we have a president who is doing well and who will contest a second term, God granting him good health. God preserving him up to 2027 will feature President Bola Ahmed Tinubu again to serve his second term. After that, maybe Atiku may want to contest at 86, 87. But the facts of the matter are as plain and simple as I have presented them. If there is any way I have stated anything to the contrary, they should take me on that. You have a political party which gave you a platform. They call the Labour Party. The Labour Party is embroiled in crisis and political turmoil. There are internal contradictions, internal rife every day. There are arrests, there are litigations, all manners of things. I expect that a man who aspires to preside over this country, with all the disparities in the country, with all the intricate logic and our differences, should be able to sit down at a round table and summon the leadership of a Labour Party and nip the crisis in the bud from day one. And if the thing continues to fester, it takes away from him that he is unable to reconcile differences in just a small political party. How much more will he do if he's given the opportunity to preside over a larger entity called Nigeria? So it's not about attacking his personality. It's not about shifting the goalposts. Or it's not about shifting attention away from what APC is doing. As far as I'm concerned, given the scenario that we met on ground, the president of the country has done so well in the last 10 months, and is still continuing in doing that. And so, if Peter Obi wants to show that he's actually an opposition, and he wants to give face to opposition, he should do the little things, those minute details. And these details are that your party is in crisis. They are causing distraction to even government. You are causing distraction to President Tinubu. Please resolve the crisis in your party. Choose the right leadership. Make yourself accountable to the people who donated money to your party. There are accusations here and there. There are counter accusations and all of that. That is not the kind of thing we want to see in an opposition political party. An opposition political party should lead by example and tell the ruling party, well, you are not doing well in this area. This is how we think that we can do better. That is a way of seeing opposition as an integral part of the democratic process. But when your party is embroiled in crisis and you are unable to reconcile little differences, everything hovering around the issue of accountability, money missing, money not missing, and all of that, treasurer is fighting chairman is fighting this, candidate is for talking. For God's sake, that will not advance any tangible discourse in terms of political equivocation. So I am of the opinion that those who are supporters of Peter Obi should tell him that he should sit down and do less of travel, reconcile the differences in the Labour Party, reduce the noise level in the political landscape, and allow President Tinubu to concentrate on the...
Okay, so...
What they do pass me, say, corrupt leaders. I see the hot for my body, I say, make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body, day for year. Pastor, where they line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG watch TV. Pastor, where they back, where? Politicians, what they do pass me, say, corrupt leaders. I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religion.
Is he talking about? And then this thing right there, that particular part, you could see how he was not able to talk about the fact that things were here. Mr. Fegba talked about the fact that monies were missing in APC, treasurer accusing chairman. Okay, fine. No, Labour Party rather, not APC. Monies were missing in Labour Party, treasurer. Okay, fine. The APC, they've been in government for over 8 years, and legitimately for 8 years, and illegitimately for the last is it almost 1 year? No, it's not yet up to 1 year. It's almost another additional year, 1 year. And so, what about the Nigerian monies that are missing? What about the issue that is happening in custom? What about the oil theft? What about the bribery? What about the 3 billion that was used to verify a social register that the APC government under Buhari had already set up? What about the monies that, focus on that? You understand? Focus on that. Reduce the cost of governance. Reduce the monies that are being used as conduit pipe all over the place. And then if they also want to now focus on what Labour Party, please let them feel free. Like Mr. Peter Obi said, he has asked that the party should get, independent, what do you call them now, accounting firm to go there and investigate. That's what he's supposed to do. But when he talks about the fact that Tinubu is being distracted, oh shit baby, as in small picky, Omomo is being distracted by what is happening in Labour Party. Tinubu is not being distracted by the killings that are going on. Tinubu is not being distracted by the hunger that is in the land. Tinubu is not being distracted by the revolution of the criminality under custom. Tinubu is not being distracted by the fact that his chief of naval staff has been investigation has shown that he has collected over $300 and something $1,000 as bribe, and that people are stealing oil. Even when other companies, apprehend these people who are stealing our crude oil, they get set free. He's not distracted by that. He's not distracted by the killings. He's not distracted by the hunger. He's distracted by Labour Party.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what Aisha YESUFU said in this very video, and you can see the video that guy made in Arise News. That guy actually came out. He thought he was defending Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but he have actually unveiled all the plans that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, APC, and others, all the plans that they have against Peter Obi have finally been unveiled. You can see the way that guy was talking in that very video. He was talking about the tribal sentiment thing, that it is not yet Obi's turn, that it is until Tinubu enters again in 2027, because he said Buhari just concluded 8 years, and that is the representative from the north, that it is now the southern turn, that it is until Tinubu as the southern president reign for 8 years. He said Tinubu is just embarking on his 4 years journey, that he will still finish the 4 years in 2027, and it will still come up again, and he will still go for another 4 years, making 8 years. He said maybe on 2031 Atiku can later come in as the next president, and that is when the power will shift to the north. Then he mocked Atiku. He said maybe Atiku would have entered age 86 or 87 then as an old man. Maybe Nigerians will definitely allow the old man walking with walking stick to come and rule them. That's to tell you that Atiku can never rule Nigeria. That is what the man was saying in that very video. And the message that this passed to Peter Obi and all Peter Obi followers is the fact that they will never give Peter Obi a chance in 2027. They want to erase Peter Obi. They don't want him to break out, because according to what a lot of obedient are saying, they said since they have smart obedient in 2023 election, that the 2027 election will surely come and Peter Obi will reign as the president of Nigeria. That was it. But the table is already turning. Everything is changing right now. They don't want Peter Obi to reign in Nigeria. They don't want him to rule. They said Tinubu will finish the 8 years that is allocated for the southern presidency, because according to a report now, Buhari have used 8 years, which is the power from the north. They said Peter Obi cannot use any year. They don't recognize Igbo. They don't want Igbo to rule Nigeria. They said the southern presidency that we're talking about is only for the western region, which is the southwest, which is the representative by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They said it is not Obi's turn, that Obi cannot rule Nigeria, Atiku cannot rule Nigeria, that Tinubu will still be the one that will still rule in 2027 to 2031. Then from 2031, they will shift the power back to the north, which is going to go back to Atiku or any representative from the north, that Obi can never get the power. So that's the plot that these people are cooking on ground at the moment. They never want Obi, they never recognize Obi as a Southern president. It is only Tinubu that they want the power to be in his hand. They never want the power to go to the hand of the Igbos. So according to what this man is saying, he never recognized Igbo as a tribe in Nigeria. Just for the tribe to rule Nigeria, they never recognize Igbo. They are seeing the Igbos as a kind of demonic tribe and all of that. They don't see them as a tribe that can rule Nigeria. They did not even analyze them among the political class in Nigeria. Now the power is now shifting from north to south, south to north. It's shifting from Yoruba to Hausas, from Hausas to Yorubas. Where are the Igbos? I think the three strong tribe of Nigeria is Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. Now why are they omitting the Igbos from the ruling power of Nigeria? I won't say that because I'm a Yoruba that I will just keep quiet on this issue. I will not keep quiet. Where are the Igbos? I'm a Yoruba. Yes, Igbos too must rule Nigeria. They are one of the tribe of Nigeria, and if they don't want Igbo to rule Nigeria, why are they keeping them as slaves in Nigeria? Will Hausa and Yoruba continue to be governing Nigeria and ruling Nigeria, and Nigeria will be bending, and the Igbos will be quiet like slaves in their country? Where on earth is this happening? And these people are the one demanding for Biafra, and this same government are the one holding them back, and yet they don't want them to rule. Where on earth is this happening if not for Nigeria? Now they have marked out the plans of how the ruling strategy is going to be. They have marked it out that Tinubu will still rule in 2027 to 2031, and they omitted Obi. They never recognized Obi. They didn't even say that Obi will come up in 2031. They said the power will go back to the north. That shows that they're going to put their full support for the north. Drop a opinion in the comment section of this video. What do you guys think? Do you really think what this guy analyzed out? Because that's a plan that they are cooking on the ground. That's a plan that they're cooking right now. Do you really think what this guy said in Arise News that Aisha YESUFU played out in this video? Do you really think what he said in this video will really work out as he said it? Because the one that Tinubu said back then, that after Buhari is going to be him that is going to rule, that one really played out. Do you really think what this guy said also will also play out? Do you think Obi is not going to rule Nigeria because this Obi is a big threat to them at the moment? Do you think Obi will collect the power from Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027? So drop your opinion in the comment section on this video. If you are Igbo, drop your opinion. Do you really think Igbo will still rule Nigeria? Just feel free, say your mind. I missed all the voters' intimidation. I missed everything that they did to Obi because of the election. I missed everything that happened because of the election. How they manipulate everything according to the video evidences that we saw that was flying on media. I missed all those things. They still don't want this guy to rule Nigeria just because he's not part of their caucus, just because they said they did not have structure, just because they know that when he gets into power, he will unveil a lot of hidden secrets in hidden places. He will unveil a lot of their atrocities, and Nigerians will know the secret. They will know the secret that have been making Nigerians to be stagnant since all this while. Everybody's eyes is going to be open if Obi get into power, and they never want this guy to get into power just because they don't want their secret to be open. So just drop your opinion in the comment section of this video. Drop your opinion. Do you think their plan is going to work, or Obi is going to hijack the power in no time soon? Just drop your opinion, as I'm gonna dedicate another thing for you. Ensure you follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, pastor for LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politicians with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.